Welcome to this 36th session of Ergonomics for Beginners Industrial Design Perspective. So, current module is the module number 9, it is performance support and design intervention. And today's session, out of this total 5 sessions in this, today is the class number 36, the workstation design. The gist of last session, we have discussed some issues of occupational safety and stress at workplace in view to reduce the potential fatigue, errors, discomforts and unsafe acts towards finding design development feasibility. With examples of occupations that does not normally concern our sympathy, but potential growth cannot be ignored, that we stressed in last classes. We also discussed the risks are due to the ignorance, self-imposed and casual attitude, constraints and work demanding atmosphere, remain unconcerned or apathy by the employers. With this, we concluded that there is a need for studies emphasizing benefits of both in terms of productivity and overall well-being of the users, that is workers or occupants like that. So, with this background, the today's session, the class number 36 is a workstation design, where we are going to discuss some issues and concerns. The issues for occupational stress, safety and health looks into conceptual framework and principles for effective prevention of interventions, as for example, context specific interventions and primary, secondary and tertiary prevention. Occupational stress, safety and health incorporate multiple factors from diverse disciplines. It addresses exposure to environmental, ergonomic and psychosocial stresses and a combination of physical, environmental and psychosocial stresses. In this session, we examine lessons learned from earlier course materials in light of conceptual model, as for example, role of top management and integrating research and design intervention. So, productivity and occupational health and safety issues may be to identify factors that affect productivity through occupational health and safety issues in effect, examine the causes for complaints of fatigue, back pain, upper body pain, hand and wrist pain and headaches. Before taking any development step, it requires to carry out ergonomic assessment of the work process and working environment. Now, while talking about improving productivity and occupational health and safety, the OHS, specifically in developing countries like ours, where a majority of work premises are unorganized and come under small and scale and cottage industries like that. And in some of the common features of these industries are improper workplace design, ill-structured jobs, mismatch between persons' abilities and job demands, adverse environment, improper human machine system design and inappropriate management problems. This quite often leads to workplace hazards, poor worker health, mechanical equipment injuries, disabilities, and in turn this reduces worker productivity and product and work quality and increases cost. Now, an effective work system design achieves a balance between users' characteristics and task demands. Such match enhances productivity, productive work safety, and a feeling of physical and mental well-being and motivating job satisfaction. There are many case studies published elsewhere show positive effects of applying ergonomic principles in workplaces, work equipment design, job design, environment and facilities design. A holistic system approach needs to be considered to bring overall work efficiency. Now, it is believed by many concerned that many of the root causes of workplace health hazards, low level of safety and reduced worker productivity and quality are due to ergonomic deficiencies. In developing countries like India, investigating ergonomics, worker productivity and OHS involved developments of a checklist that include number 1, demography of the organization, number 2, productivity and safety issues, number 3, ergonomic issues, number 4, the environmental factors and number 5, organizational and management issues. Accordingly, the design development strategy has to be considered. Now, ergonomics risk factors that affect health related safety, while industrial engineering and other specific disciplines look into specific ways of solutions, it raises a design development need. Attempts for development may base on some keywords, and those keywords may be the ergonomics, occupational health and safety, environmental conditions and surroundings and design development, and on that the strategy for such design development to be considered. Now, the ergonomic compatibility considerations to minimize work discomfort and safety health risk through hierarchy of controls is hierarchy of controls, and these hierarchy of controls are composed of number 1, the engineering controls, that is designing a machine, number 2, administrative control or a job. A safety manager must consider administrative controls, emphasize minimizing the machine operator's exposure to risk. Rather, administrative control tactics may include designing a job rotation schedule, decreasing the frequency of certain movements by adding more operators to a particular job, or changing job processes to lessen the amount of risk, and number 3, the personal protective equipment that is guarding the self. Now, how to achieve this goal? We can consider the identification and elimination of occupational hazards at the beginning in a system, then proper application of ergonomics principles and criteria, so that good compatibility will be there. Planning and execution of good work design element, implementation of participatory approach to make it sustainable. Now, some concerns are there. Those concerns like industrial engineering concerns are in designing jobs, determining the most economic way to perform work. Number 2, setting performance standards and benchmarks for quality, quantity and the cost, designing and installing facilities. Under system engineering, criteria. The system engineering involves in recognition, appreciation and integration of all aspects of an organization or a facility. The industrial management issues concerned are to check which is the best way to the task, what should constitute a day's work, define his task after a careful study, teach him how to do it, means make him aware, provide an incentive in terms of adequate pay or reduce hours, provide an incentive to surpass it. The design approach, when we take then one question comes, whom to upgrade? We have seen many concerns earlier. Take a system approach when attempt to develop even a single product, that is the answer. Now, let us see how it works. We can take an example of the rural health system and design possibility may be considered as an upcoming concern. Now, if we take a rural health system where a lady health worker issues some medicine, carry it to the village and the specific houses she visits, some common medical checkup devices she may need to carry with her, and after days work with those people, village people visiting their homes, administer the medicine, make the medical checkup, get the report filled, come back to the main office or center and report it back. If this is a concern, then after studying the whole system, how she collects, how she finds that what are the equipment devices she needs to carry, what type of medicine she requires in field, what are the problems, etc. After studying each and every component, a design thought may come that if we can develop or design a special carrying system that can be fitted in her normal cycle, or if it is necessary, he can or a special vehicle can be developed where the cost will be very less and it can move inside the rural path to go to each homes. At the same time, the carrier should remain on that vehicle while moving. Either it may be in that same position when she visits some homes, or that basket or that bag can be removed from that place and she can carry inside the home for medical checkup and etc. or treatment. So, in this whole system, if we can develop that product, it may be good in the whole system. This product will give reliability, safety, the functional requirement it will fulfill, and to if it is easy to carry and etc., the trouble that lady was facing, it may be minimized. So, by that way a system approach can lead to a specific product development. In this case, one can develop a kit or medical kit for that specific purpose. So, the development would be context specific through a system design approach. Now, we will see some of the issues in this. What does it mean by system approach? Whatever we discussed just now, let us see. The components, location and integrated function is a system, equal a system. The defining system. A system is an aggregation of elements organized in some structure, usually hierarchical, to accomplish a unified system goal with many specific objectives oriented components within. But design is over this, an additional element is required, that is that design is said to be something more than the aggregate of the constituent components, some other element that while making an integrated product, the trust value, pleasure value, to feel good value, these things how it can come, that needs to be added. So, the system design, it gives the components requirement everything, and when the designing of the system matter, it gives an overall integrated matter. System representation. A product having many components and their layout links, workplace or space with many equipment, furniture, man and space in between. Service system requiring many subsystem, combination of functions and humans. Ergonomic system management. Ergonomics management scopes to balance functions that are shared by man and machine, which is to achieve a safe and reliable system to yield a desired function. Now, the machine is being gradually shifted to the any kind of usable item. So, a set of function the system is to deliver has to be decided, and to get that what would be human requirement to be judged, and then a match between these two has to be established, and accordingly machine and surroundings are to be designed and human tasks are conceptualized like this. So, system design approach, the considerations are overall system goal. To achieve that requires subsystems, define that, subsystem characteristics, details of subsystems, functional links among them, role of humans, users and operators, overall shaping to make a reliable system. Now, general system characteristics, interaction of elements, structure, definable structure and organization and external boundaries which separates it from elements outside of the system, purpose and goals, inputs and outputs. Now, the system component, the system concept, it is an integrated system where components or elements of a system are only meaningful in terms of a whole system. The whole is more than the sum of its parts. The whole is more than the sum of its parts. We have to keep in mind while making any system design approach. Each element must be viewed in terms of its interaction with other elements of the system. It may have subsystems to perform a relative system goal, contrast to reductionism approach, which focuses a particular system component or element in isolation, non-consideration of human issues in implementation problem. Now, see some issues of office ergonomics applications. This figure I am showing again just to say that it is a typical office workstation within a cabin. In other office atmosphere, what is really responsible for efficiency? While looking into this, a concept came ergo office. Here we can see some of the figures that people in meeting, multiple task performance, people demand, people in a specific arrangement, working arrangement, tiring work. So, with all this, the ergo office concept, it says that a concept towards conceptualizing and inviting comfortable and productive working space, which confirms that most of the relevant ergonomics factors have been taken care of. Here, to make the person comfortable with this work, height, length, breadth, even the display is being adjusted. People are working in an inappropriate workstation area. This needs to be considered. For all this, now another thing is there that there is a move from formal atmosphere to towards creating an informal work environment in an office even. Now, here some this formal to informal transition exercises. So, these figures have been taken from some published material. Here it says that in a car one person can work within specific work area. Now, here like this way, in this office a special ambience is created with this figure. Now, this is a special table, work table. Now, to make it clear, to come closer and specify the work individual spaces, the specific curvature of this table is formed like that, and even in office also some rest that facilities are being provided like that. So, challenge to make new workplaces on this. So, function the workstation or workplace should be functional with freeness of movement and freeness of mental load. Now, from formal to semi formal and formal feeling and informal feeling in home always is there, but how to create it in work area. So, some furniture manufacturing company, they have developed something, and even this type of furnitures have been developed, and even in medical checkup system also some thing is being, so that a cordial means patient and doctor cordial meeting is possible here, that type of things are developed in a dentist also like that way. So, with this it can be said that in any office or a single person's work area, if a person sits here and A, B, C, D, E like this and A, B, C, D, E, these are the his working area suppose. And then this person can move here and there and can touch all the things like this. So, this is for his free movement space and these are the work area. Now, looking into the horizontal workspace, the horizontal work area, an area of this can be marked where this person can move with his chair here and just only extending arm he can get reach over all the things. So, like this way, so the physical dimension match has to be maintained. So, with these issues, this type of concepts have been developed by many furniture developer groups. Feel that person will be here, he can meet it for meetings, office work, for personal computer keeping place etc. here, personal computer keeping place and then other material place like this. So, the person just changing his position, he can make a contact with the various workplaces. So, by this way workstations can be developed. Now, ergo office, the workplace for new work style, there are some published literature is there. So, it says that varieties of workplaces possibilities are shown here as example. So, from these examples one can think that one can remember how a workplace can be made more inviting, more means maybe casual atmosphere with a deep sense of responsibility. So, a special work area can motivate people to work and would be creative. To generate creative idea, constraints are not welcome. One case study is being presented herein as a reference example of workstation development where users behavior modification is intended. The concepts and considerations highlighted here may be considered to look into the fields of similar nature. Which we are going to now we are going to see one example, and like this many other area one can see if similar type of development possibilities are there. Specific needs to be identified and exercises can be formulated according to specific requirements to fulfill. Now, the example is that a work counter that modifies behavior and ideation approach. The concerns. This is a typical counter. The counter person side, this side is counter person, this is that other person. One example area we can cite. The counter, it is not only the physical reach of arm, but also the visual clearance is necessary. That like visual and communication and clearance. Here one thing we have to consider that people height. So, when we talk to each other, the person's eye and the counter person's eye and the customer's eye, it has to be at the same level or it would be at a comfortable communication level. if a short height person, medium height person, tall height person is there, then accordingly that has to be considered. If something has to be seen, then around 1/3 may be from the top of the eye and 2/3 may be below eye level has to be kept, and the distance of that object it would be around 1 arm's length. These are the some of the concepts that we have discussed already in earlier classes. Now, we will just see its one application. This is a figure is taken from a published source for the discussion as a reference. In this case, it says that it is a counter where the person is coming standing outside and the counter person is looking at the computer. Now, this reminds us a specific work area that is a railway reservation counter. Now, if we see our requirement, in railway reservation counter, the counter person who sits inside, he has a computer and he keeps the computer monitor facing towards himself. And when he work with something, he sees that computer. But those who are standing in a queue on the other side, their behavior is that there is a long queue. When the first person comes at the front meeting with that counter man, he is asking some questions or asking for some availability of railway ticket kind of thing, and the counter person, after telling one that okay, it is available or not, if not available, then the person asks okay, the next one. After 2-3 types of asking like this, the counter person feels irritated, or he normally says that go to enquiry and get it checked where that rooms are available, in which train. So, when this discussion is going on, the second person in the queue, his heartbeat gets increased and he feels that just as soon as the first person moves from the counter, how he can approach. So, what happens? He tries to see from an angle the computer screen. Obviously, the first person he also looking into the computer screen, is trying to see that. Second person also doing this thing, and at the same time the third person he is also getting energized. He also try to see that what is happening inside, means he is also getting ready. So, at the in the queue, these three first, second and third person, there is a little chaotic position there. Why it happens? Let us see some of the issues, if we can target this. Suppose this is a counter, this is the glass or opaque area, this is the counter table, the counter, this is the counter and person, those who are in other side, that long queue is there, and they are supposed to contact through this. In certain cases, in some fair or maybe somewhere that temporary ticket counters are made, this type of things are available. Means this is a totally covered and one small opening is there. So, what happens when this through this hole, your hand as well as face both you have to see this, and it is not very good. So, we can say that this is not proper. Then second division may be one hole and another thing, but it looks okay. So, you can speak and you can put your hand through this. But the case is that everybody's face is not matching here. So, the short height people they are extending face, tall height people they are squeezing their face, bending. Though it is good, but we cannot say it is very good in this context. Next, for that, if we can have a total cutout like this way, then what happens? Any face, tall height face, middle height face, average height face or low height face, it will face there, and then they can perform their duties through this. But there may be vandalism kind of thing, so people can put their hand in directly, so that may be a problem. So, this type of structure we can say that it may not be possible or feasible. Next thing comes, okay, then do one thing. Instead of having a single cut, have little separation, so that a tall height people's face, middle height people face, short height people face will be there. So, they can talk to the counter person, and through this there will be exchange of material, pushing hand inside it. Here what's happened, still when you are in a queue in the railway reservation counter, you are doing something from the side, one person may come and can say that just 1 minute, one question I ask, is this train goes from this side? Can I get this ticket in this counter, like that? So, then the task was going on there, it gets disturbed, the person who is talking. So, because what has happened, the person who is actually doing the business here, his face is here, and from side he is also trying to come here. So, there is a disturbance. So, for this, can it be like this one? So, that automatically as a behavior point of view, the principle is that we always judge the product or the space as it that dimension as it fits to my body dimension, means the product geometry fits with human body dimensions match, and then accordingly we accept this product. In this case, automatically if this is a cutout like this way, then a tall person will try to keep it, obviously it is natural selection, he will try to stand here, an average person, a height person, his face where matches, he will try to stand here, and a short height person, he automatically he will try to stand here, and while standing here putting hand here, he can perform the job, he can perform the job, and he can perform the job through this. So, what has happened, though 3 persons are there on by automatic height selection, those at the beginning the 3 persons will take their automatic space. And if they are standing here, then if someone tries to inquire something to the counter person, also obviously the space is there. So, the person who is standing in front of the counter, he does not need to give space to the other person. So, by this way can we say that by design we can modify human behavior, in this case the queuing behavior. So, these are the some issues that workstation itself can give. Here the privacy, the work easiness, freeness, postural change possibilities, etc., are to be considered. Now, here as a summary, this is not permitted, it is not good, there are some problems. Here it works, but it is not appropriate. In this case, safety is a problem, means the vandalism may be there. In this case, though it looks good, but the concern is that, that only one window, small opening space is there. In this case, it may serve that purpose. Can it be a good idea to practice? Let make it, see it, give trial. So, this is one example is being shown here as an idea generating issue, but a similar type of concerns one can find from our own surroundings and then get the things done. Maintain ease of eye contact between customer and counter person, layout of work components to do desired task. Avoid bending, these things need to be considered. Avoid bending forward and backward, a twisted trunk strains the back, sudden movements and forces produce peak stress alternate postures as well as movements, limit the duration of any continuous muscular efforts. More frequent short breaks are better than a single long one. Facilities are to be provided for overall work comfort. Summary of this lesson, today's lesson. The below 5 key points that is discussed in this session may form key to similar workstation development trials. One is that workstation design, the need to be identified actually. Design development strategy has to be looked into. System approach can be taken. Overall work comfort has to be considered, and finally, design ideation. Make the design solutions, alternates, give trials, get feedback from likely to be the users, and then finalize it. So, with this we are concluding today's session. Now, the next session will be the class number 37, the furniture support and the relevant issues. With this, we are concluding today's session. Thank you.